I am on holidays right now. Summer holidays, that is. And I'm spending my time in Vietnam since my dad just recently got a job here. So I'm going to be spending 2 months here, and it has been around 1 month and 3 weeks. We still got 1 week left. You can imagine when you're on holidays in another country, when you can't simply grab a taxi, go somewhere, when it's hard to communicate, when you don't have a SIM card, you're going to naturally get bored. And this naturally has brought a lot of time for thinking, a lot of time for many things that otherwise I wouldn't have time. Mainly reading and watching Netflix. Now, with all this time, I've just been thinking a lot about the power of reading. And I wanted to share it with you guys. Now, usually I script all my videos, so all my videos you've seen on this channel where I talk and even some of the vlogs, I script. But this one is totally unscripted. So please tolerate any sentences or any storytelling where I go over the same thing or they don't connect the dots. I'm trying my best, just improvising. This week alone, there has been 2 moments that I've really thought about the power of reading. The first one was when I decided to go to the pool with my family. I went to the pool with my family, and what I did there, it was beautiful, sunny. I laid down on one of those chairs next to the pool, right, actually in the pool, just there, sunbathing and reading a book. The next day, I went to the pool and I read the book again. This time, it was just me and not my family. The book that I was reading was this one, A Cabana. In English, this translates to The Shack. I'm trying to make my Portuguese better, so I'm reading this book, The Shack, in, Portuguese. Now, I haven't really gotten that far in this book. I'm just chapter 3, O Mergulho, which is the dive. And I can tell this book is very, spiritual. This is actually where I got all the thinking started. About God, about life, the meaning of this world. When you read a book and you sit there, even if it is a fictional book, you just start to pay attention to everything around you. As I felt the sun hit my skin, I just felt present. I wasn't in a rush. Yes, I wasn't, and I'm not as productive as I was back in Australia doing all these things, filming way more videos than I am now. But there comes a downside to that. Always moving and think of the future, going from one thing to the other. You don't have time to stay in the present moment and enjoy what's actually happening right now. When I was there at that pool, feeling the wetness on my skin from going into the pool, feeling the sun dry me off, I just felt an inner sense of calm. I'm just observing everything around me. I wonder what this couple, this Croatian couple is thinking. I wonder what this Indian couple is thinking. And there is something just so peaceful about thinking about this present moment, and you stop worrying about everything else. You can just enjoy that moment. Now, I've been thinking about that a lot, and reading has opened my eyes to that. Now, there has been another scenario which has been the turning point for making this video. My dad left again here to go to Singapore, and it was just me, my mother, my sister, and my brother. There was a lot of tension throughout that time, with literally everyone arguing with everyone for no reason. And I remember I made lunch and I cleaned everything, and my sister made everything dirty and didn't clean it. And I got so mad, I said some words I shouldn't have said. I had had so much anger in that moment, and I didn't know what to do. What did I do? Guess. I got my book. This time I got Shoe Dog, written by Phil Knight. So, a memoir by the creator of Nike about how he created Nike. What did I do? I grabbed this book, and the next step, I went out onto the streets. But there I was on the streets in an alien country, and I didn't know where to go. And that's when I remembered one of the first days I came here. We went to this other little condominium near where we live, and I thought, that's a great place to go. So there I was, walking, turned right across the street, the only street I actually know, until I reached the river. I walk next to the dirty-ass Ho Chi Minh River and arrive at my destination. I walk into the condominium. Hopefully people don't kick me out since I'm not supposed to be there. And I get to this park. Next to the park is this wooden house. And next to the wooden house, there are two trees. And in between the two trees was a net. I forgot the name of it, but it's like that net that's connected between two trees, which you can lie down on, right? And it was one of the really big ones also. And I thought, oh, I doubt anyone that is actually living right here. It looks pretty abandoned. So what I did, I went there and I lied down on the perfect net I've ever seen. Now I remember the name, hammock. I lied down on that perfect hammock, got my book, took off my shoes, wiped off the bird shit off the hammock, lied down, and started reading. As I started reading, I heard the birds. I felt the wind hit my face, I felt the sun, and of course, most importantly, I felt present and I was able to calm my anger down. I am naturally a very angry person, and which is, I think, why I love exercise so much. It is a way for me to vent out that anger. And I think is another reason why I love listening to dark funk music. When I'm in the gym, I put on that dark funk music. I can just vent out my anger. And this, I guess, was also another extreme way to vent out my anger. The complete opposite of being super, dark at the gym. Winter arc, you could say. It's complete opposite. I went next to this river on a hammock next to this park full of children laughing with the birds, and I read a book just by myself there with my water bottle. There's nothing more beautiful than that, and actually having the time to do this. These 2 months I've learned a lot, even though it hasn't been as productive, and because I haven't actually had the opportunity to sit down and just think. When I get back to Australia, I doubt I will have that with driving lessons coming up, with school, with work, with this. So I have to make the most out of it. But anyways, getting back to the story. I was there reading this, such a good book, and I was listening to his morals, reading about his outlook of life. His dad did not like the idea of him trying to sell shoes because, he saw that as a dead end, but his mother agreed to it. And I decided to relate this to my own life, compare it to my own parents, think of my own life situations. But the point is, I'm not trying to convince you guys to read a book, to actually learn off the book. That is important. But the point of this video is to convince you guys just to get a book, to read, to see the other, you could say, indirect benefits of reading. And the good thing is, I was reading a fiction book at the pool and a non-fiction book at the hammock. 2 different scenarios, 2 different places, and 2 different languages, 2 different genres, right? Completely different scenarios, but reaching the same result. Presence, awareness, and the most important of all, peace of mind. If I still haven't convinced you, let's take another detour. This detour goes to around 8 p.m. at night, every single night when I was in Australia. When I didn't have work, of course, I didn't have anything else. Most nights, I reckon 2 out of 3 nights, maybe 3 out of 4 nights, I was reading a book for 1 hour before bed. And if you really think about it, studying before bed and reading before bed, it both activates the mind. But surprisingly, for me at least, when I read before bed, I can fall asleep. But when I study before bed, I cannot fall asleep. And I believe, again, this is because of the calming effects of reading a book. Reading a book opens you up to different perspectives of a world by allowing you to actually look at that perspective through the eyes of someone else, through the eyes of the author of that book, through the eyes of the main character of that book. My main teaching for me was that I thought that everyone had to be super productive and had to do this, that, constantly productive at every time. And that is the only way to be happy. I complained a lot when I got here because I couldn't constantly be productive. I was actually watching like 2 movies a day because there really wasn't anything to do and there was nothing I could do about that. But now I've learned that to be happy, you don't strive to be happy. It's contradictory. To be happy, you have to stop trying to be happy. That's literally it. And I've discovered this by reading this, just a few pages of this book. If you stop trying to be extraordinary, you stop trying to grind and be the star of everything you do, then you're gonna see that you're gonna be happy with yourself right now. I've never been happier with myself right now, even though I haven't actually been doing as many productive things as I was back then. Life really is only one thing for us, an opportunity to grow and to get better, 1% every day. If you like this concept of getting better 1% every day, read Atomic Habits. I've had to say this book is so good. It shows what little changes every day can do. Little thought patterns that you change every single day can lead to remarkable results, guys. So now we've reached the conclusion of this video. Hopefully I haven't yapped too much, and hopefully you've gained some knowledge from what I've been saying without a script. Literally just what's coming into my head at the moment. All in all, I really do suggest you guys get reading and go somewhere peaceful where it's just you. Grab your water, grab a pina colada if that's what you want, and just sit there for 1-2 hours. It needs to be 1 to 2 hours and just read. At the start, it is very hard to read a book, to concentrate for more than 15 minutes, but eventually you'll build up that skill and you'll be able to read a book for more than 1 hour. When you do that, you'll be able to sit by yourself and just think for 1 hour. And just thinking is one of the most powerful things in this world. The ability to, wherever you are, to be with yourself without needing to look at your phone, to look at the news, to look at any distraction out there to distract you from yourself and from your own reality. Hopefully this video has resonated with you. Hopefully it hasn't been too spiritual and too crazy-minded, too nuts, you could say. And that if you have enjoyed, please hit that subscribe button. And check out my other videos in the channel. Not all of them are as spiritual and as vulnerable as this. So trust me guys, check out those other videos where it's more entertaining. Thank you so much for listening.